before the arrival of Spaniards, Asian Filipinos were living in scattered barangays and ruled by different chieftains. Although they were living separately, they were similar in many ways. Their religion, mode of dressing, houses, system of government, economic activities, and marriage practices. In short, they were refined and civilized. They possessed a distinct culture that distinguished them from other races. Evidences that supports the claim that Filipinos had an elaborate civilization prior to Western contact. First is effective technology, ceramic industry as early as 4000 BC. Second one is predictive sciences, the preserved mummies in Central Cordillera Mountains. The third one is art and religion, petroglyphs or line drawings in Angola. The government, barangay with its council of elders, and laws with Code of Calanchao. Transmit knowledge, it was required through observation, imitation, and practice. There was no formal education during pre-Spanish period. Children were taught to read and write by their parents, and it was fair to say that they were literate. The purpose of education during their time was survival. Their father on hunting animals taught males, fishing, agriculture, and other economic activities, while their mothers in managing the household taught females.
Spanish era, tribal tutors were replaced by Spanish missionaries, instruction was religion-oriented, education was limited only for the elites, established at least one primary school for boys and girls in each town by the decree of 1863. Spanish occupied Philippines in early 15th century. The first Filipino alphabet is Alibata. When Spanish colonized Philippines, they changed Alibatas into Roman alphabet. Spanish banned the use of Alibata because they believed that it is a work of evil. So Spanish fully introduced the Spanish literary language using many Spanish terms. The Jesuits who arrived in 1581 also concentrated on teaching the young. When the Dominicans arrived in 1587, they did the same thing. The Augustinians opened a school immediately upon arriving in Cebu in 1565. The Franciscans arrived in 1577 and they immediately taught the people how to read and write, besides imparting to them important industrial and agricultural techniques. The Moro Moro. Like the Cenaculo, the Moro Moro is presented also on a special stage. This is performed during town fiestas to entertain the people and to remind them of their Christian religion. Cenaculo is one of the teaching methods during the Spanish era, as well as the Moro Moro and other theatrical performances. Influences of Dominicans on education. 1611 University of Santo Tomas, 1630 College of San Juan de Letran. Jesuits, 1589 College of San Ignacio, Manila, 1595 College of San Ildefonso, Cebu, 1601 College of San Jose, Manila, 1817 Escuela Pia, 1859 Ateneo de Manila. Produced the first grammars and dictionaries that led to the development of Filipino languages. RTE Vocabulario de Lengua Tagalog by Juan Quiñones in 1581 was the first Tagalog grammar and dictionary in the country. Another popular Tagalog grammar was RTE Regla de la Lengua Tagalog by Francisco Blancas de San Jose, printed by Tomas Pinpin in 1610.
promote democratic ideals and way of life. The defeat of Spain by American forces paved the way for Aguinaldo's republic under a revolutionary government. The agencies and content studied, the Burgos Institute in Malolos, the Military Academy of Malolos, and the Literary University of the Philippines were established. The University of the Philippines was founded in 1908. It was the first state school of university status. John Dewey. He was born on October 20, 1859 and died June 1, 1952. He was an American philosopher, psychologist, and educational reformer. Dewey was an important early developer of the philosophy of pragmatism and one of the founders of functional psychology. He focused on education for employment and life. He was a teacher who guided the student not to be a dictator. Training was done through the schools, both public and secular, manned by chaplains and military officers of the U.S. Army and the Thomasites brought here by the vessel Thomas. The legal mandate during the American era. The Treaty of Paris in December 1898 put an abrupt end to the newly born republic. President McKinley issued his benevolent policy of assimilation, by which America would assume full control and administration of Philippine affairs. In 1899, he appointed a commission to study the newly acquired territory, and this became known as the Sherman Commission. In 1900, another commission was appointed, and this was the Taft Commission. Its task was to organize a civil government. In March 1900, the Office of Superintendent of Public Instruction was created with Captain Albert Todd as the General Superintendent of Schools. The Educational Act of 1901, also known as Act No. 74 of the Philippine Commission, was promulgated to establish a Department of Public Instruction to oversee the operation of public schools.
Commonwealth period 1935 to 1945. The 1935 Constitution, Article Number 14, Section 5. All educational institutions shall be under the supervision of and subject to regulation by the state. The government shall establish and maintain a complete and adequate system of public education and shall provide at least free public primary instruction and citizenship training to adult citizens. And it completely replaced the 1898 Malolos Constitution. Education during the Commonwealth period. After a persistent negotiation with the Americans led by Manuel L. Quezon, the Americans set up a preparatory period to enable the Filipinos to deserve independence. The Constitution of the Philippines was formulated, adopted, and subsequently approved by the President of the United States, and it completely replaced the 1898 Malolos Constitution. Training was done through the public schools and private schools, the non-sectarian and the sectarian. The fundamental aims of education set forth in the 1935 Constitution are: number 1, to develop moral character, personal discipline, civic conscience, and vocational efficiency. Second is to teach the duties of citizenship. The Education Act of 1940, CA 586, approved by the Philippine Assembly on August 7, 1940, provided for the following. Letter A is reduction of the 7-year elementary course to 6 years, fixing the school entrance age at 7 years. The national support for elementary education, compulsory attendance of primary children enrolled in grade 1, and lastly, the adoption of double single sessions in the primary grade with one teacher while class assignment of intermediate teacher. Education during the Japanese era, 1943 to 1945. The Asia-Pacific War or Second World War interrupted the 10-year Commonwealth. The Japanese occupied the country in 1945 after the bombing of Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941. Order number 2 of the Japanese Imperial Forces set up the wartime educational objectives in the country on February 17, 1941. Education aimed at making the people understand the position of the Philippines as a member of the East Asia Co-Prosperity Sphere. Eradication of the old idea of reliance upon Western states, particularly the United States and Great Britain. Fostering a new Filipino culture based on the consciousness of the people as Orientals. Elevating the morals of the people, giving up overemphasis on materialism. The diffusion of elementary education and promotion of vocational education. Striving for the diffusion of the Japanese language in the Philippines and the termination of the use of English language in schools. And lastly, inspiring the people with the spirit to love labor. Agencies and content studying. It established of agricultural schools and colleges. Also, an opening of vocational schools. Training was done formally through the schools, which gave more emphasis on vocational, technical, and agriculture. And last, curricular content was centered on values rooted on love for labor, emphasizing vocational education, diffusing the use of Nippongo, and teaching physical education and singing Japanese songs.
Education during the Republic. Even before independence was granted, Sergio Osmeña, who became president after the death of Quezon, affirmed the principles of freedom and democracy. On July 4, 1946, President Rojas reaffirmed such faith in democracy. The 1935 Constitution continued to be implemented during the entire period. The Board of National Education, BNE, tasked with formulating educational policies to give direction to Philippine education was created pursuant to RA 1124, approved on June 16, 1954. However, BNE was later renamed National Board of Education. The board's function is now under CHED under RA 7722. To promote the socio-economic status of the public school teachers, their living and working conditions, their employment and career prospects, the Magna Carta for Public School Teachers, RA 4670, was enacted on June 18, 1966. It contains provisions on the following. First, recruitment qualification of teachers. Second, Code of Professional Conduct for teachers. Third, teaching load of 6 hours of classroom teaching and additional compensation for overtime. Fourth, health and injury benefits through GSIS. Fifth, 1-year study leave, sabbatical leave after 7 years of continuous teaching. Sixth, 1 range salary increase upon retirement. 7. Teachers freedom to form organizations. In terms of curricular offerings in all schools, the life, the works, and writings of Jose Rizal, especially the Noli Me Tangere and El Filibusterismo, shall be included in all levels pursuant to RA 1425 approved on June 12, 1956. Elementary education was nationalized and abolished. Matriculation fees pursuant to RA 4007. Legal mandates. The Board of Textbooks was created pursuant to RA 139 and acted on June 14, 1947. Its function was to screen and approve textbooks for use in all public schools for a period of 6 years from the date of their adoption.
Education aim during the New Society. One of the offshoots of the Presidential Commission to Study Philippine Education, or PCSPE, done in 1969 to 1970 and headed by then Minister of Education Onofre D. Corpus, was the issuance of PD-6A Educational Decree of 1972, which embodied into law the national development goals and the goals of the educational system geared towards their attainment. The educational aims are as follows. First, provision for a broad education which will enhance self-actualization. Second, manpower training in middle-level skills. And third, development of the high-level professions and evaluation. The educational programs initiated during the New Society. ISOSA, in School of School Approach. CPS, Continuous Progression Scheme. PRODED, Program for a Decentralized Educational Development. NCEE, National College Entrance Examination. NEAT, National Elementary Assessment Test for Grade 6, Battery of Achievement Test of Multiple Choices. NSAT, National Secondary Assessment Test, replaces NCEE, not a prerequisite to entrance to college. 20% of the result is computed to the GPA. Legal mandates during the New Society. PD number 1, Integrated Reorganization Plan, September 24, 1972, decentralization of the Department of Education, Culture, and Sports. Decision-making is shared by the 13 DECS regional offices. The National College Entrance Examination, or NCEE, as per PD 146, issued on March 9, 1973, required all senior high school students to pass the NCEE as prerequisite for admission to any post-secondary academic or professional degree program for a minimum of 4 years of study in any private or public college, university to start on school year 1972-1973. Tertiary honor students, summa cum laude, magna cum laude, are granted civil service eligibility pursuant to PD 907, issued on March 1976, starting school year 1972-1973. Department Order Number 25, 1974. Bilingual Education Program mandates the use of English and Filipino separately as media of instruction in schools. Education during the present period. Section 3, Article 14 of the 1987 Constitution contains these fundamental aims of education. Shall inculcate patriotism and nationalism, foster love of humanity, respect for human rights, appreciation of the role of the national heroes in the historical development of the country, teach the rights and duties of citizenship, strengthen ethical and spiritual values, develop moral character and personal discipline, encourage critical creative thinking, broaden scientific and technological knowledge, promote vocational efficiency. DECS Order No. 6, 1988, issued by then Education Secretary Lourdes B. Quisimbing, strengthens the teaching of values in the new elementary school curriculum NESC launched in school year 1982-1983 and in the new elementary secondary school curriculum implemented in school year 1989 to 1990 under the Program for Decentralized Educational Development or PRODED and Secondary Education Development Programs SEDP respectively. During the term of President Corazon Aquino, Free Republic secondary education became a reality through the passage of Republic Act 6655 on May 26, 1988. The pertinent provisions are on the following: tuition fees supplement for students in private schools, vocational and technical courses which charge less than 1,500 pesos, high school textbook assistance, expansion of educational service contracting scheme, and voucher system of the Private Education Student Financial Assistance Program or PESFA.
List of Secretaries of Education. Secretaries of Public Instruction, 1935 to 1940, Sergio Osmeña. 1940 to 1941, George Bocobo. Secretaries of Public Instruction, Health, and Public Welfare under Commonwealth War Cabinet. 1942 to 1944, Sergio Osmeña. Commissioner of Public Instruction, Philippine Executive Commission, 1942 to 1943, Claro M. Rey. Minister of Public Instruction, Second Republic, 1943 to 1945, George Bocobo. Secretaries of Education, Culture, and Sports, February 1986 to December 1989, Lourdes Quisumbing. January 1990 to June 1992, Isidro Carino. July 1992 to July 1994, Armand Fabello. August 1994 to December 1997, Ricardo Gloria. January 1998 to June 1998, Erlinda Pefianco. July 1998 to January 2001, Brother Andrew Gonzalez. February 2001 to August 2001, Raul Rocco. September 2002 to July 2004, Edilberto de Jesus. July 2004 to July 2005, Florencio Abad. July 2005 to September 2005, Ramon Bacani, the OIC. September 2005 to July 2006, Fe Hidalgo, acting. July 2006 into present, Jesny Lapus.